It's time for the Lakefront Living Realty radio show on News Talk KRMS. Lakefront Living Realty is Missouri's only real estate firm focused solely on lakefront and lake access properties, changing lives one lake house at a time. So let's talk the waterfront lifestyle. Please welcome owner-broker Annie Faulstich and her guests for today's program.
Welcome to Lakefront Living Real Estate Show, your trusted guide to buying or selling property at Lake of the Ozarks, where every day is a lake day. I'm Annie Faulstich, owner-broker of Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri's only exclusive lakefront lake access brokerage, where we're changing lives one lake house at a time. Welcome back. I apologize this week. I'm battling a few late summer allergies, so I'm going to apologize up front for any hacking or breaks. I need to take a drink of water, but I hope everyone is having a great start to the weekend. It's crazy to think that it is already Labor Day weekend. Honestly, I don't know where the summer went. But contrary to the past, do not lock up your boat keys and winterize the lake house just yet. Lake of the Ozarks is far from closing down for the season. In fact, there is plenty of boating, festivals, and outdoor activities to enjoy throughout the fall. The same rings true for the real estate market. Fall can historically be just as busy, if sometimes not busier, than the spring market. In 2018, there were 517 lakefront properties, and now I'm looking at homes and condos only, not lakefront lots, but just single-family residential homes and condos that are direct lakefront. So there were 517 lakefront properties sold in spring of 2018. And in the fall, a close 496. So you can see that's very close numbers for the spring and the fall. And then again, with, ironically, another 517 closed this spring in 2019, I believe that we're gearing up for a busy fall, especially with interest rates so low. This is why today, again, I have two area experts in the station with me to talk real estate. Today we are discussing low interest rates with John Robertson, Executive Vice President of Bank of St. Elizabeth, and appraisals with Roger Hoover, owner of Roger Hoover Appraisals. Thanks for coming in today, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
The Lakefront Living Real Estate Show is designed to bring you, the listeners, answers to your most common questions, as well as updated information in the real estate market, giving both buyers and sellers the information they need to make an informed decision when buying or selling, as well as, of course, a smoother transaction. So on that note, I wanted to remind everyone, contact myself directly with any questions you have and or would like to see us make a topic for an upcoming show. You can always find my contact information at lakefrontliving.com or call my cell directly at 573-216-4350. We plan to cover many topics and issues that arise when selling or buying a lakefront or lake access property. If you missed any of the previous shows, for example, covering dock electrical, dock lifeguard, vacation rentals, and insurance, or of course if you miss any part of today's show, you can always listen to the full shows at your leisure by going to our YouTube channel. That's Lakefront Living Realty Missouri, MO. So Lakefront Living Realty, MO on our YouTube channel, and you can listen to any past episodes. I plan to break down most of areas into specific topics, not just docks, but dock electrical, dock permitting, new docks, used docks, etc. Same for the lending. There are so many areas and topics to be covered. We plan to break it down for you in further detail. So be sure to always reach out with your questions. Once we are into the full fall season, we will have one show per month that will allow listeners to call in directly to the station during the hour's show. But for now, just contact me directly or, of course, the office anytime, 833 Lakefront. But today, I've asked John Robertson to join us and talk further about the record low interest rates and how that affects both buyers and sellers. I want to discuss second home rates and jumbo rates. Our fall market still, like the majority of most of the seasons, includes a large number of people purchasing a second home, As well, we have seen an increase of higher-end homes come on the market over the summer. So that is actually starting to shift that market, the higher-end homes, $1 million plus, into a buyer's market. So fall might be a great time to take advantage of a large purchase. As well, of course, going into an election year, in my opinion, without a crystal ball, I think this fall, winter, and early spring may be our last chance, for a minute anyway, at a faster moving market. So, John, again, welcome to the show.
Appreciate that, Annie. Yeah, right now we're in an interest rate environment that's really dynamic at this point. There's a lot in the news, especially the last week, with the discussions of the trade war with China, the inverted yield curve, and the lowering of the federal interest rates that are really making it a really attractive time to not only purchase, but actually we're experiencing a lot of refinance activity currently at this point. So as we move forward, rates today are below, 3.5 on a 30-year, which is very attractive. So not only as a buyer, but as someone that purchased, 12, 18 months ago, that they're looking at refinancing at this point as well. All indications are interest rates should be at least this level or even lower in September. So we're not seeing a lot of movement there, but it's really an attractive interest rate environment for a potential buyer at this point.
Awesome. And tell me, so you're the executive vice president at Bank of St. Elizabeth?
Yes, the Bank of St. Elizabeth is located basically on Osage Beach Parkway, right across from Hy-Vee. We're a family-owned bank. We're over 100 years old. Our location at the lake has been here over 4 years. Our other locations are more rural. We established a location here basically after the last recession. We have a rural philosophy, more of a personal philosophy, and it's been well accepted here at the lake. So we're happy to be here and serve this community.
Awesome. So you kind of touch on this briefly, but where are you seeing current interest rates right now for 30-year fixed on a second home market? It's kind of what we're going to gear towards today. First is for a second home market, and then do you have any other programs that allow for even lower rates? Let's say maybe not a 30-year?
Yes, correct. Fannie Mae is where the interest rates we were just discussing. Fannie Mae's are loans which we actually sell to the secondary market. And those rates, whether it's a primary or second residence, are priced the same. So second homes are very attractively priced. We also have programs that we can keep the loan in-house if there's needs for that, whether it be down payment issues, credit issues. Jumbo loans are actually priced differently. So, sometimes we have different products that are more appealing to those types of buyers.
Okay. That's a good question, because that's one that I get often a lot from buyers regarding second home. Is my second home going to be any different interest rate than my first? So thanks for answering that. No, they're the same.
Correct.
Do you think, are these in fact some record low numbers, or have we seen these interest rates previously?
We've seen rates 2 or 3 years ago that got a little bit lower than where we're currently at. But this interest rate environment currently within the last week are really approaching those levels. So if you're holding out for a refinance, thinking they're going to go lower, my suggestion would be keep a daily eye on those, or have a respected lender keep an eye on those for you. That way, you don't let that get away from you.
Awesome. Do you have a crystal ball with you? Everybody's going to want to know today, since we've got the lender in the house talking about low interest rates. You're going to give us any inside tips?
Well, a lot of it's, your crystal ball is how much you can judge, our president at this stage as far as the negotiations with China. There's some talk that may be wrapping up, and if that will bring a lot more certainty to our economy. If that happens, you may see, interest rate pause or start to go up. But at this point, everything's at this point moving towards a flat or decreasing interest rate environment as we move forward here in the next couple months. But obviously, everything could change with the trade war and that sort of thing.
Yeah. And that's what, historically I typically see as well in past years in the real estate market. That's why I mentioned that I do believe, in my own opinion, that this fall, winter, and early spring is going to be a great time to sell or purchase until we get into that election year. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to keep talking to John Robertson with Bank of St. Elizabeth. I want to talk a little bit more about that jumbo market, since I said that now is turning to a buyer's market, and of course how these low interest rates might affect both buyers and sellers. So stay tuned with us on Lakefront Living Radio Show, News Talk KRMS, 1150 AM, 97.5 FM, and 103.3 FM. You can always find us at lakefrontliving.com.
Hi, I'm Haley Glover, Realtor and Lakefront Specialist with Lakefront Living Realty at Lake of the Ozarks. You can find me at lakefrontliving.com, call 913-638-7798, or email me directly at Haley, Haley, at lakefrontliving.com.
When it's time for a new lift, it's time for an Econo-Lift. Start with totally enclosed polyethylene tanks built for stability in high water traffic. All wear points are protected with polyethylene or nylon bushings, so your lift lasts longer too. Add a 5-year warranty on the galvanized steel and lifetime warranty on the tanks, and you'll see why Econo-Lift is the obvious choice. On Old Route 5, 3.5 miles north of the square in Camdenton.
If you pull the left with Econo-Lift and stop scrubbing your bottom, stop it.
News Talk KRMS presents a live broadcast on sister station Classic Country 104.9. Classic Country 104.9 is live on the radio. We're featuring the best live local entertainment in a 2-hour show from 7 to 9 p.m. on 104.9 FM, just like the old days, all at Lodo Lounge in Osage Beach. Sponsored by Reinhold Electric, Jennings Insurance Group, the Motor Hut in Gravely, and Freshwater Marine Sales and Service. You're invited to be part of the studio audience for our next broadcast September 17th with Emmy Lee and Cody Percival as we bang the twang on Classic Country 104.9.
Clearwater Carpet Cleaning is tried and true. For 30 years now, we've been there for you. As in all business, our success depends on our loyal customers, associates, and friends. We've cleaned your carpet, your tile, and grout, done carpet repairs, and cleaned air ducts out. Serving you has been our pleasure. We appreciate your trust with your home and treasures. So, when second best will not do, call 348-1212. Clearwater Carpet Cleaning. We're here for you.
Econolodge Inn and Suites is still working to be your best lodging value at the lake. With 2 buildings, we can meet a wide range of the lodging needs and preferences. One is interior corridor, no pets allowed and totally non-smoking, while the other is exterior corridor with a mix of smoking optional and non-smoking, but all rooms and suites pet-friendly. In Osage Beach, take the Nichols Road exit to 5760 Osage Beach Parkway, turn left 1 block to Hotel on the right, or call us at 573-348-1781 to make your Econolodge Inn and Suites reservation today.
Are ye looking for a local spot at the lake? Ahoy! Your ship just came in. Make port at Fat Polly's Pub for lunch or dinner. We're smoking all the meat off the bow, and we're only using hickory wood for flavor, the way of the 7 seas. Live music and merriment plays 3 nights a week with happy hour every day. Book private parties for your next gathering. And the next time you yearn for lakeside food and drink, your safe port is Fat Polly's. Aye, it's the favorite layover for all hardy pirates.
They're back. Thanks for listening to the Lakefront Living Realty radio show on News Talk KRMS. Here once again is owner, broker, realtor Annie Faulstich and her guests.
Welcome back to Lakefront Living Real Estate Show, your trusted guide to buying or selling property at Lake of the Ozarks, where every day is a lake day. I'm Annie Faulstich, owner, broker of Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri's only exclusive lakefront lake access brokerage, where we're changing lives one lake house at a time. When we left off at the break, we were talking to John Robertson, Executive Vice President of Bank of St. Elizabeth, talking about the record low or low interest rates across the board. Where we left off, I did want to talk a little bit about jumbo rates. As I mentioned previously, we did see an increase in inventory over the summer on those jumbos. Kind of inventory 1 to 4 million have gone up. So with the increased inventory, we are kind of seeing a shift in that market to the buyer's side. So any buyers, looking or thinking about homes in that price range, this fall, winter may really be the time to take advantage of that. Where have those jumbo market interest rates come in?
Well, I guess probably the first thing I'd like to touch on is what is a jumbo? And actually a jumbo is any loan balance that's going to be over 484 and change. So when you talk about jumbo, it's really not that high of an amount compared to how much these lake homes are going for. So when pricing a jumbo, Fannie Mae's belief is anything that gets over that loan amount incurs a greater risk historically to them. So that's where they define that jumbo rate at. So most of these lake homes, even if they're at a 20% down or an 80% loan to value, are still encountering these jumbo rates, which Fannie Mae prices higher than a normal conventional loan.
Mm-hmm. Where are you? Do you know where you're seeing those at right now?
Yeah, a lot of times you can be at 40 to 50 basis points higher on a typical loan. So, for example, pricing today was at 3.5. You may see a 3.75 or a 3.875 for a jumbo. Also affecting jumbos is the credit scores to make sure everything's in line there. So what I would suggest is get an early start, do a pre-approval with your lender. That way when you're seeing conventional rates that a jumbo is going to be approximately a quarter point above that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, which are still incredibly low
rates.
Still
incredibly low rates.
Yeah.
Anytime you can borrow really historically below 5%, historically, it's really a buyer's market.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. How do you feel that these low interest rates affect, both buyers and sellers? Obviously, we're focusing more on the buyers and people coming to you to, purchase. Do you have any input on how you think it's affecting sellers at all?
What we're seeing anymore is when you get lower interest rates, that just enhances someone's ability to borrow from a payment standpoint. It seems like anymore people are more concerned about what my payment is, and I need a payment that's in the $2,000 range or the $2,500 range. How much can I borrow? Therefore, how much can I buy? So when interest rates remain low, the amount that they can borrow increases, so the sales prices continue to rise, and we're really seeing an increase. And as you can attest to, the market's really good at the lake right now.
Yeah. And I think the sellers also, most of them are looking to purchase another property. So whether that's still here in the area, they're wanting to upgrade their lake home, move here full time, or even if they, are selling their lake property to purchase a property elsewhere, they're also wanting to sell in time to take advantage themselves of the lower interest rates and get into the new property.
Yeah, that's a tricky mechanism there because what the perfect scenario would be for me to sell my house and then close on the new house on the same day, but a lot of times we don't live in that perfect world, so we're in this bridge loan type of scenario to where we may have to cross-reference back to their existing house until they sell that house, but they don't want to let the new house slip away. So, what I would say is, go talk to your local lender. Local lenders here at the lake are very important. They understand the market. They understand the appraisers. But yeah, you can get pretty complicated, and I'm trying to get that whole dynamics to work out.
Yeah, all the stars to align. That's a term that we use a lot when we're working with buyers and sellers and in those contracts. But you did bring up a great point, and that was also what I was going to ask you a little bit more about, is how Bank of Elizabeth is set up or designed for those buyers / sellers that, may be looking for those bridge loans. I know as an agent in an upmarket like we're in, there are very few sellers that are willing to take a contingency on something that's not been sold. So, with that, they don't want to lose out on a house, but need the proceeds out of their original home or original second home to purchase. So are you seeing a lot of that? Is that something that Bank of St. Elizabeth encourages buyers?
Yeah, what we try to do is each individual is unique in their situation. So we don't really boilerplate anyone. So when they're coming in, we'll really take a look at what they're capable of. For example, if they're going to purchase a home with no contingencies on the sale of their current home, try to work with them to set it up to where, is it an interest delayed? Is it a 12-month balloon to where they're not going to have any payments until their other home sells? Doing that, though, you're very limited on the types of products that they can go into on that new purchase because they don't have their equity available yet. Once they sell that current loan, then there's multitude of different products out there that we can move them into.
Okay. You feel like it's a little less riskier than it was in the past. I know that's what I hear from a lot of buyers, that it's, they just feel like it's so much risk to take on, getting that bridge loan or taking on an extra loan prior to their other property selling.
I think it's really having an agent and a banking relationship that you're pretty honest with yourself as far as the marketability of your current property.
Yeah.
And that's where, Roger and other local appraisers will give you a good idea. If before, back in 08, 09, people thought their home was worth $500,000, and they realized in a down market they were worth less than that. If you're realistic about your property value and you're realistic about your financial position on being able to afford that new purchase, even though you may have a 3 or 6 or 12-month delay on your sale, I think then people enter a comfort zone that they're willing to move forward with a bridge loan.
Yeah, I agree. I think it truly is about educating the buyers and sellers, as well as making sure that they've got a team of experts around them, the appraiser, the lender, the agent, who are helping them to educate them to make sure that they are 100% comfortable with the decision that they're making moving forward. So.
Yeah, my grandpa always said everybody's deal is different. So that's one thing that we do is everybody's deal is different. There's so many loan products out there, from VA to USDA to FHA to conventional to in-house. People are overwhelmed many times with all those options. You really just need to get in and figure out really your scenario, and then use a trusted lender. And there's a lot of trusted lenders down here, a lot of good character lenders that can help you, guide you through that mass of options.
Awesome. Any other, kind of bullet point loans that you want the listeners to know that they can come to Bank of St. Elizabeth to get?
Yeah, we do all sorts of lending, whether it be commercial. One thing that we do take pride in is we treat each individual loan uniquely. We don't have just one rate quote hotline that prices everybody into one category. So, that's one thing I would suggest is, give us a call. We'd love to get to know you and know your scenario and see if we can help out.
Awesome. What is the best way for someone to contact you or your other loan officers?
We're actually online at Bank of St. Elizabeth. You can reach us at on site, or you can call us at 573-493-2313, or my cell number is 573-690-9213.
Your wife's not going to be happy that you just gave out your cell number.
Every realtor at the lake has my cell number, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you guys work weekends too, so
guilty as charged. Calling you late nights and after hours.
That's how we do it. That's like to try to be unique.
Yep. Well, thanks so much, John, for joining us today. I know it's hectic and everybody's busy on the Labor Day weekend, so feel free to stay in the studio, though, with us. We're going to talk to Roger coming up here shortly, and we may have a couple more questions for you as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Lakefront Living, really, we pride ourselves in educating sellers on the 5 golden rules when selling lakefront property. That's what I want to talk about when we come back. Those 5 golden rules: lifestyle, marketing, exposure, price, and working with a specialist. So we're going to take a quick break now, but when we come back, we are going to talk about those 5 golden rules and, of course, visit with Roger Hoover of Roger Hoover Appraisals to talk about how appraisals have changed and or are affecting buyers and sellers in today's market. So stay tuned with us at Lakefront Living Radio Show on News Talk KRMS, 1150 AM. You can always find us at lakefrontliving.com.
Take all the Lake Area news, information, and your favorite programs with you. Download the free News Talk KRMS mobile app on your smartphone. Just go to your app store and search KRMS, and you'll be able to listen to us in high-fidelity stereo right on your phone, anywhere you travel. Now on AM, FM, and your smartphone. It's another free service of the information station, News Talk KRMS.
Hi, it's Greg Surdike at Surdike Yamaha. We are giving away free wave runners with the purchase of select G3 Tri-Tunes. That's at Surdike Yamaha on Osage Beach. Come ride on our reputation.
For the love of golf, Bear Creek Valley Golf Club should be your #1 golfing destination at the lake. Featuring an 18-hole course with 6,700 yards of tree-lined zoysia fairways and perfectly manicured greens, Bear Creek Valley is centrally located in Osage Beach on Highway 42. After a great day on the course, cool down in their welcoming full-service restaurant and bar. Come experience the best golf and dining destination in the heart of the Ozarks. Bear Creek Valley Golf Club. Book your tee times at bearcreekvalley.com.
News Talk KRMS presents a live broadcast on sister station Classic Country 1049. Classic Country 1049 is live on the radio. We're featuring the best live local entertainment in a 2-hour show from 7 to 9 p.m. on 104.9 FM, just like the old days, all at Lodo Lounge in Osage Beach. Sponsored by Reinhold Electric, Jennings Insurance Group, the Motor Hut in Gravely, and Freshwater Marine Sales and Service. You're invited to be part of the studio audience for our next broadcast September 17th with Emmy Lee and Cody Percival as we bang the twang on Classic Country 1049.
Welcome to the lake. Show Me Taxi is locally owned, safe, reliable. Why waste money on those newfangled cab services that rush in for the season, late night, and make their money and leave? Trust Show Me Taxi. We want to get you where you want to go and save. My drivers and I are courteous, dependable, and we have clean taxis. Call 573-280-5511 or text us to get you around town. Show Me Taxi. Thanks. Be safe. Cindy Lou. Call me at 573-280-5511.
They're back. Thanks for listening to the Lakefront Living Realty radio show on News Talk KRMS. Here once again is owner, broker, realtor Annie Faulstich and her guests.
Welcome back to Lakefront Living Real Estate Show, your trusted guide to buying or selling property at Lake of the Ozarks, where every day is a lake day. I'm Annie Faulstich, owner-broker of Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri's only exclusive lakefront lake access brokerage, where we're changing lives one lake house at a time. Before we left last break, I wanted to go into the 5 golden rules when selling lakefront property. We briefly said lifestyle, marketing, exposure, price, and working with a specialist. We realize that most people know several real estate agents, but when dealing with what is most people's largest purchase or investment of your life, why would you not hire an experienced expert exclusively dealing with your type of property? No offense to any general surgeons out there, but I can say without a doubt that if myself or if any of my children required brain surgery, I would want a brain surgeon that works on brains every day of the year, not the general surgeon in this case. This, of course, is not a life or death situation, selling real estate, but why would you take that risk with the largest investment of your life, potentially leaving thousands of dollars on the table? Working with a specialist is truly crucial. In my opinion, or a good argument, the second most crucial golden rule, or in fact, our #1 tip at Lakefront Living in selling your property, is price. So, Roger Hoover, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Great to be here.
Yeah, thank you as well for taking the time to join us. I know appraisers right now are crazy busy juggling home sales and refinances. First, tell us a little bit of background on yourself and Roger Hoover Appraisals.
All righty. Well, I came to the Lake of the Ozarks about 18 years ago. I've been a realtor, broker, appraiser for well over 20 years. And right now I just focus mainly on just appraisals, of course, and it has been busy and gets busier all the time, it seems like. So the things that affect my business in particular is it seems the lower the interest rates go, the more business that we have. And people are very active in the real estate market when the whether it's refinancing that we do an appraisal for or purchase, it gets very busy the lower the interest rates go, and when interest rates gets a little bit higher, it's kind of the thing that slows our business down as appraisers. And I appreciate your previous analogy, but I'm not a brain surgeon either.
Myself either.
I've never even came close to hearing anybody say that.
Do you see more sellers having pre-listing appraisals? I do, for sure. As a matter of fact, I would say right now probably a third of our business comes from people, private appraisals, people other than lenders. And looking for an appraisal we do estate appraisals for somebody maybe who's passed away and they need to know the value of their estate for the government purposes. Okay. And but a lot of it is for people who are looking to market their home, and I get a lot of referrals from people like Annie, the realtors, who will advise their clients that they might want to get an appraiser to give a value. It's a good way to get professional opinion and blend it with everything else that you might know on your own as far as your property goes. But it's a good opinion to get in addition to whatever else you're considering. So yeah. I think that
a lot of
that's
people
a good
do
number.
it.
I didn't.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's good to hear that so many people are taking advantage of having pre-listing appraisals, because again, as we go back to, it's really about educating our buyers and our sellers, and of course sellers as yourself to have those advantages. One question I get a lot when we do work with those pre-listing appraisals is, can a buyer that comes along to purchase their property, can they use that same appraisal?
Well, maybe not.
Yep. It was a kind of a loaded question there,
Yeah.
but that's a question I get a lot, so I figured listeners might want to hear that.
A really good question, and I get that a lot. They're kind of, appraisals are done for purposes, and that's so one of the things I first ask people when they call is, what's the purpose of your needing an appraisal? And but the purpose for them may not also fit the banks and the lenders. Lenders like to choose their own appraiser, for one thing. And I tell people when they get an appraisal from me that this may not be able to be used by a lender. Mm-hmm. And but normally, if it's a seller looking for an appraisal, they have a different purpose than the buyer looking for a loan.
Yeah.
So it usually works out pretty good anyway. And
So do you ever, as yourself getting hired out for a buyer, or I guess, from a bank, if the seller had a pre-listing appraisal done on their property, would you as the appraiser take that appraisal and consider that in your appraisal?
An appraisal that someone else did?
That someone else did within the last 6 months. Mm-hmm. Would that help you? Would it hurt you, or would it not really make any difference
whatsoever? It wouldn't really make much difference.
Okay.
We don't do a lot of that. I don't really like to look at it. I don't want the answer before I am able to figure out what, Okay. It sounds like it would be a good thing, but, we can look at it different ways than that. And we don't do that. We don't really share that kind of information.
Well, that's, these are all questions, that I get all the time from buyers and sellers. Mm-hmm. So are there any changes that you could tell us on how appraisals are done, maybe differently than they were in the past, that buyers and sellers should be aware of?
Mm-hmm. Well, we're very highly regulated right now. We have been for some time, and it seems like that doesn't ever go away.
Yeah.
Once we're regulated by the government to meet certain standards, of course, which is what an appraiser does, is goes by standards that are set forth, that we follow those standards. But that's how I would say that's the main change that we've had, is a lot more regulation than we did, let's say, back before the recession in 2007, whenever it was. We answer to a lot of different people now. one thing that happens on appraisals now is they're all digitized, and so that Fannie Mae, we don't put necessarily like that a house is good condition, average, that we use codes for that. And when these are downloaded by Fannie Mae, they want a large database of our appraisals, which they have access to, and that's all downloaded to them. It's digitized because it goes through a computer. I digitize it before I send it to the lender, and then the lender, I guess, it gets to Fannie Mae. But that's one thing that's changed a lot, and they will even ask us. Fannie Mae a lender could ask me, based on information that they've gotten from Fannie Mae out of their database, is if I use certain comparables, they could ask me, why didn't I use these other comparables? That's, and then I would have to give them an explanation about why I use these over those. It keeps appraisers, following the guidelines.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for, because I had obviously talked to appraisers like yourself and heard a lot of those guidelines, and then not only seeing it on the back end when the lenders are always sending things back for revisions on the appraisals, is that you are really overseen and guided, by Fannie, so that they're looking for any indications of things not being congruent.
People ask me sometimes when I'm doing an appraisal for them if I could pump it up and make it as high as possible.
Yeah.
And I usually just tell them I'll make it as high as the law will allow.
Yeah. You're not taking hundreds under the table.
No. No.
Okay.
But the appraisal's good. It's good that it's regulated the way it is. It keeps everybody honest, I think.
Well, it is a fundamental truth in today's real estate market. Your opinion of value, the realtor's opinion of value, and even the buyer's opinion are, by and large, honestly irrelevant. The only opinion that validates pricing is the buyer's lender, per the bank's appraisal prior to closing. So, we always say, why risk losing a sale or conceding to a lower price that late in the process? So when we come back, we're going to talk about why it makes more sense to, again, be proactive on that pre-listing appraisal. And we'll talk more with Roger Hoover of Roger Hoover Appraisals when we come back. But for right now, we're going to take a short break. So stay with us at Lakefront Living Radio Show, where we're selling lives. We're changing lives. We're changing lives one lake house at a time. You can always find us at lakefrontliving.com. And News Talk, KRMS, 1150 AM, 97.5 FM, and 103.3 FM. And now on HD3 at 93.5. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Stacy O'Neill, Realtor and Lakefront Specialist with Lakefront Living Realty at Lake of the Ozarks. Call or email me directly to put my love for the lakefront lifestyle to work for you. Call 573-745-0946.
Hi, this is Ken Kinsey for Bentley's. When you want to enjoy fine food and drink on a quiet patio, appreciating the beauty of the lake, it's Bentley's on Bagnell Dam Boulevard. Enjoy special menu items and small bites unlike any other place at the lake. Bentley's opens at 5 p.m., Monday through Saturday. It's fine dining in a casual atmosphere, so reward yourself tonight. You deserve it. Bentley's Patio and Restaurant on the Bagnell Dam Boulevard in Lake Ozark.
Are you ready for some power? Then you're ready for a Stihl. Kent Porter here for Porter's Building Centers and Stihl. Stihl fuel-powered chainsaws are the saws all others are compared to. Right now, you can pick up your new Stihl chainsaw at a great price. Get the MS 180 with Easy Start and get a quarter Moto Mix free. Move up to the MS 250 with an 18-inch bar, now $60 off. Or the powerful MS 271 Farm Boss. Get a free Stihl tumbler and cap with purchase. Pick your power, then pick up a Stihl. Porter's Building Centers in Laurie. Porter's, we're here to help.
Jump on the bus for a buck. Ride the Bagnell Dam Strip Express for $1. Anywhere on the Strip, just wave at the driver and he'll pick you up. And now the Bagnell Dam Strip Express will pick you up at Port Arrowhead Resort and the Regalia Hotel. Jump on the bus for $1. Thursday through Saturday, 11 in the morning until 2 a.m. after the bars close. The Strip Express is sponsored in part by News Talk KRMS.
They're back. Thanks for listening to the Lakefront Living Realty radio show on News Talk KRMS. Here once again is owner, broker, realtor Annie Faulstich and her guests.
Welcome to Lakefront Living Real Estate Show, your trusted guide to buying or selling property at Lake of the Ozarks, where every day is a lake day. I'm Annie Faulstich, owner-broker of Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri's only exclusive lakefront lake access brokerage. Welcome back. Earlier before the break, we were talking with Roger Hoover of Roger Hoover Appraisals regarding pre-listing appraisals, as well as just how appraisals have been a little bit different in the upcoming years, even for buyers. So I left off telling you that really that is probably our number one tip for selling your lakefront property is having that pre-listing appraisal. So we've got 6 rules we like to share to our sellers that I'd like to share with you. I mean, rule number 1, buyers are well educated and understand the market. So this is one thing I hear a lot. My lakefront home is very unique, and a buyer who understands that will gladly pay for it. Well, we all feel we know the value of our lakefront home and or think that a buyer will pay more because of their desire to live the lakefront lifestyle. In today's market, unfortunately, no one will overpay the bank appraised value for any home. I mean, it really does not matter how much they love it. They will not start in a negative equity position. So buyers will use the lower appraisal to renegotiate. Rule number 2, a proactive valuation puts you in control. And that does. We've seen a shift in the market, but we still do tend to get what a seller would consider a lowball offer. And when you get that lowball offer, having the ability to negotiate with them on a recent appraisal that you've had done just does put you in the driver's seat. Rule number 3, testing the market does not work. I hear this a lot too. There's no harm in starting at a higher price. I can always come down later. People can always bring me an offer. Here's why that does not work. The best chance you have to sell at full asking price or over truly is within the first, they say 2 weeks, or in some markets or seasons, 30 days of after listing. That really does ring true. After that, you will probably not sell at full price. So all you're doing is helping sell another lakefront home. Buyers will compare what they get their money for and buy the competitive home. I mean, buyers know the market. They're much more savvy than they've ever been in the past. They have all of that education at their fingertips online. So not only will they not come to see your house because they don't see the value, in some cases they'll even blacklist it even after you start dropping the price, then after you've been on the market for 6 months, and still haven't sold. Rule number 4, justify with logic. Several realtors have seen my home and their prices are inconsistent. Lakefront properties are difficult to price, especially for realtors who do not specialize in lakefront properties. The additional value that a waterfront property brings is subjective and need to be quantified through a statistical process. So really having that appraiser's third-party value is most important to justify that logic. And having rule number 5, stay focused and on the process. The buyer's lenders can't use the appraisal anyway. We kind of talked to Roger about that earlier, and that's pretty much the case. I mean, I have in rare forms, a local lender has been able to use the previous appraiser if that appraiser was in their pool, or in some cases where we do see a lot more cash purchases. If the sellers had their property appraised prior to listing it and the cash buyer comes in, then you also typically don't lose, risk the new buyer having their own appraisal. They will go off of that recent appraisal that you've had done. Mm-hmm. Rule number 6, stay ahead of your competition. There are lakefront homes for sale all around. So most likely if they don't complete a professional appraisal, that is why your home will be standing apart from the rest, just knowing that you are priced in the market. So those are really lakefront living rules that we stand by in our company. So I appreciate you, Roger, being here and talking about pre-listing appraisals and how those change for both the buyer and the seller in some cases. Anything else you want to touch on real estate appraisals?
Oh, just go ahead and order one.
Give you a call today. So if somebody does want to order an appraisal today, how would they best get a hold of you?
They can call me on my cell phone. My cell phone number is my business number, and so I always have it in my pocket. And my cell phone number is 573-216-6583.
Awesome. One other question I get a lot is about cost. I did want to ask you about that. Is the same cost across the board, or how are the appraisals priced?
As far as the cost of the appraisal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's pretty standard fees. I usually just charge people what the banks pay me for an appraisal. It depends on some different factors, and there are different kinds of appraisals as far as the extent of how much information there is to gather. But appraisals are, well, right now, typically around $450.
Okay. Perfect. Well, I, again, appreciate you coming in. I know
My
everybody's
pleasure. Thank you.
busy, so thanks for staying with us in the studio.
Great.
So I always talk about listings. This week I actually have 2 featured listings, as they both are part of an exclusive gated private island. Who doesn't like the sound of that? And it is a rare find. Grand Point Island is located in Portosima on the 13-mile marker. The stone causeway and grand gated entrance truly set the tone for this 8 private home island. Main channel on one side and large forked hollow cove on the other. These 2 estate homes we currently have listed are for the buyer seeking luxury with comfort and privacy. 1640 Grand Cove sits on 2 adjoining lots and has one of the most expansive views you will find while still having coveside protection. This 7,500 square foot home features 5 bedroom suites and 2 half baths, 5 full baths as well. Elevator, wine cellar, game room, huge indoor and outdoor entertaining spaces, along with a gorgeous infinity edge pool overlooking the amazing lake view. 2 waterfalls, and again, no close neighbors, make this the perfect private estate. This property is selling turnkey, so is ready to enjoy today. It is listed in the high $3 millions. 1579 Grand Cove has 2 lots available with this property. One of the homes sits on the lots facing the main channel for year-round incredible views, and the second on the cove-protected side with a large concrete 3-well dock, bar, and swim platform. This 4,800 square foot, 5-bedroom, 4-bath is warm and inviting, even though large in stature. Both properties have hard-to-find flat, truly flat, driveways with plenty of parking. This home also comes turnkey and is listed in the mid-$1 millions. Always, if you're wanting more information on any of our properties, or especially the properties that we talk about each week as featured listings, please follow us on Instagram, Lakefront Living Mo, YouTube, again, Lakefront Living MO, or our Facebook page, or lakefrontliving.com, where you can see full pictures of the property as well as drone footage, videos throughout the property, and get all of the details that you need. We always talk also about selling a lifestyle at Lakefront Living. I hear it daily. Sellers telling me years of stories and traditions they have cherished and loved throughout the years, that possibly they are closing a chapter on or finding a larger home. As the family grows, they need space to continue the traditions. I heard from a buyer earlier this week telling me about the feeling it gives her to be at and most definitely on the lake. She grew up going to her grandparents' lake home and now wants to find that place and that feeling again. Actually, almost all lakefront buyers have a past association with lakefront living that evokes strong emotional connection, most likely from childhood. The presentation and marketing of your home when selling needs to tap into that emotion. If you would ever like to talk directly to one of our lakefront specialists or have us send you a comprehensive seller's success guide, contact us directly through lakefrontliving.com. You could be our next week's featured listing. I hope everyone takes in every second of time that they have over this Labor Day weekend with friends and family, enjoying every last moment of summer and all that the lake has to offer. Be safe and be kind to others on the lake. If you are with friends today on the water and have always wanted to enjoy the lifestyle yourself, now is the time. As we say, life is short, buy the lake house. But in all seriousness, the fall is the perfect time to pick up that new house. So tune in next week to hear more from area experts. My family and I, we live and work every day to boat and enjoy Lake of the Ozarks and all that it has to offer. Real estate is truly my passion, so every day is a lake day. So please, if you missed any past episodes or would like to hear all the episodes in full, you can again hear those on our YouTube, Lakefront Living MO YouTube channel anytime at your leisure. So be sure to tune in next week as well. We look forward to hearing from you. You can always find us at lakefrontliving.com or on KRMS News Talk Radio.
Tell a friend or neighbor to join you to listen in next week for the Lakefront Living Realty Radio Show.